Regardless of whether you like them, it's difficult to differ that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith are quite possibly of the greatest couple in Hollywood. Even after each of the discussions that have followed them as of late, they are still huge name entertainers with large name projects that are coming up anyway. Something that has been in the public eye because of these debates are the intricate details of their relationship. They've had a wide range of things said about them, and a lot of individuals think they know what's the deal with them and have a lot to say. Thus we will separate that for you yet before we help out by leaving a like on the video, buying into the feed, and stirring things up around town. Simple, so you never miss a transfer from us. And so we should get straight into the video. Need to win an iPhone 12, perhaps a MacBook Ace. What about 500 money? You should simply remark the mystery stowed away message someplace in this video. That is all there is to it. Gracious, and leave a like on this video and buy into the feed so we can continue to bear the cost of these giveaways. Champ will be declared at the last day of every month. Gratitude for watching and best of luck, Margot Robbie. The connection between Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith has been exceptionally wild throughout recent years. As we've noted, Chris Rock targeted Will Smith during his Netflix satire Unique on Saturday, yet even before the slap door occurrence at the 2022 Foundation grants and the red casual conversation between the couple, their marriage experienced one more emergency during Smith's time at the film Concentration. During the creation of Center, it was reputed that the Men in Dark star was sincerely disposed toward her co-star Margot Robbie 1 year after the entertainer slapped him at the Oscars. Now a source tells E!T Will is humiliated and wounded by the thing the jokester said about him and his family, despite the fact that there hasn't been any genuine load behind this case. The authenticity of this talk actually stays hush. It appears to be that this present circumstance supposedly prompted a few breaks in the entertainer's marriage. Smith and Margot Robbie previously ran into each other during their time in the film Center. At the time, there were different hypotheses about their bond. The extraordinary imprints whenever Chris first has spoken openly about the Oscars slap. I got late spring ringing in my ears. I'm only happy to see after what occurred and all the injury and stuff that he arose more grounded. Smith, who at the time was locked in with Jada Pinkett Smith, was blamed for being faithless to his significant other following the entertainer's bond with Robbie during their residency at the film. The reports collected heat after the two were later purportedly engaged with a close photograph shoot meeting, and Robbie's remark about Smith expressing he has this truly exquisite breath shower persuaded numerous to think that Margot Robbie was hitting on Will Smith. I'm happy he's having an opportunity to be seen and appreciated. With respect to Will, he tended to the occurrence the day after the Oscars on Instagram, offering an apocrisy in spite of the fact that Margot Robbie later proceeded to disparage these allegations and dismiss them. It appears to be that this could have prompted lighting the difficulties between the Men and Dark star's marriage, yet taking into account that the entertainer kidded about Smith getting into shape prior to working with Margot Robbie and playfully requested that her better half not get cozy with the entertainer on screen a couple of months after the fact. After the Oscar champ was prohibited from going to any foundation occasions or projects for 10 years. He's sorry again. In a profound video shared to YouTube, it creates the impression that Pinkett probably won't have been disturbed by Smith and Robbie's bond toward the start, and that is really the genuine point here, that individuals are so fixated on the outrage that might be occurring that they aren't worried about the undeniable realities. There is no essential for me that feels that was the correct method for acting at that time. Fortunately, things on that side of their lives have been steady generally since their unbelievable cut scandalous red casual conversation. Anyway, the Oscars episode is still new regardless of it being a year old, and it doesn't assist Chris with shaking flash things between the three. By quite recently now, ET source says Will hasn't watched the Unique yet. Individuals have let him know what Chris said, and Will would like for him to let it go when that happened. More individuals got to talking the Shaq occurrence after humorist Chris Rock made a few jokes to the detriment of Hollywood hotshot Will Smith's better half Jada Pinkett Smith during the 2022 Oscars. Will complained and slapped Rock on live television after the occurrence was communicated across the world. The room had parted into two groups, he and every other person can too. E.T. Source says Will is likewise disturbed that Netflix gave Chris a stage and believes it's disagreeable, while certain individuals called Smith's response superfluous sponsorship. The middle others guaranteed that Rock went excessively far by kidding about Jada's ailment and keeping in mind that Will might not have been into it. Chris's companions are behind him 100 regardless of what goes down. We support each other. I support the right to speak freely of discourse. Clearly there's a bad situation for savage conduct in light of contrasts and sentiments. LA Lakers legend Shaquille O'Neal as of late returned to the disaster while tending to Chris Rock's new extraordinary. Anyway, he got a severe reaction from a NFL veteran for guarding the humorist for his jokes during the new release of the enormous digital recording. Shaq plunked down with co-have Anthony Adams and Michelle Turner to examine various subjects, and the conversation went to the new parody exceptional that Chris Rock had as of late put out ridiculing Will and Jada Smith. Shaq said that Rock is on solid ground as an entertainer to ridicule the circumstances or individuals while playing out his craft. He likewise alluded to himself saying, assuming that a comic ridicules him, he won't proceed to punch them for it. In the expressions of Dr. Shaq, it's satire. In the meantime, NFL veteran and web recording has zest. Adams disagreed with Shaq's viewpoint and introduced a one-of-a-kind situation before the NBA legend while he communicated his repugnance with Jada Pinkett Smith's scandalous swindling embarrassment. Adams just couldn't concur with somebody calling another man significant other names openly for the sake of parody. He, that is the huge man Shaq. Would you let someone call out to your significant other out of her brother? No, you wouldn't. He proceeded with, it doesn't make any difference in the event that you're at Disney World. It don't make any difference, brother. Call out to your better half out of you. They must see you. Shaq answered with an inquiry. The word that is the reason you're frantic. Imagine a scenario where he utilized the word calf. Adams made the situation individual to place it in a superior setting, as regardless of what your perspective is about things overall, you explore with more consideration when it's about somebody you care about. Anyway, Shaq actually stayed pretty resolute in a position. The discussion about the slap is as yet continuing today, almost a year after the fact. However, the issues with Jada and Chris Rock are a lot fresher. Fixated formally, neither Will nor Jada Pinkett Smith has shouted out about the jokes made by Chris Rock during his Netflix unique, albeit a source near the Set It Off star said that Rock is radiating just unadulterated fixation. Jada has had no parts in this other than being all harassed. The insider told individuals on Monday Chris is fixated on her, and that has been happening for right around 30 years. Take a gander at where he decided to film his Netflix extraordinary. Her old neighborhood of Baltimore. Fixated regardless of whether that is valid is not yet clear. Yet Chris Rock held up about a year to do his exceptional and afterward go off on Will and Jada, and when he at last did, he didn't keep down. He set free with his issues about them for both the 2022 Oscars and the 2016 ones that they boycotted on the grounds that Will Smith wasn't designated for Best Entertainer in spite of many reasoning that he ought to have been. To be fair, Stone didn't simply pursue the Smiths, he pursued various others too. It ought to likewise be said that he discussed the deceiving that happened with Jada and Will. Yet after the show, sources near Rock said that he was finished and that what he did was soothing to him. So perhaps things will stop now and everybody can return to their lives. And there you have it, everybody. A glance at the connection among Will and Jada Pinkett Smith and what everybody has been talking about them as of late. Do you feel that these individuals need to stay out of other people's affairs and not jump onto things that don't concern them? What do you believe will occur among Will and Jada next? Will both of them answer what's happening? Let us in on in the remarks down underneath. Make certain to buy in, and we'll see you next time on the feed.